Welcome to the Southwest Florida Strong podcast, brought to you by Conrick PR and Marketing. I'm your host, Connie Ramos-Williams. Joining us today is Sarah Owen, CEO of the Collaboratory, formerly the Southwest Florida Community Foundation. Thanks for joining us today, Sarah.
Thanks for having me. I'm still getting used to being introduced as the leader of the Collaboratory. It feels good every time I hear it.
Well, you're doing a great job over there. I know this was a big announcement, but before we get into that, I'd love for you to share a little bit about your background and a little bit more about you personally.
Yeah, well, thanks for that opportunity. It's funny, I was somewhere recently and somebody asked me if, what were my hobbies, and I didn't have any. So I've been giving more thought to these kinds of questions lately, but I'm a nearly native Floridian. I moved here when I was 3 weeks old, so that kind of pencils me in a little bit. I'm passionate about the state and, more importantly, Southwest Florida. I spend time really kind of going into a cave in a way. You know, with my work, I have the opportunity to be around people all the time and hear their ideas and spend time with them. So kind of in my downtime, you'll find me kind of tucked away, either reading a book or sitting by a pool or just kind of unplugging to re-energize. So I've kind of used that my whole career. I've worked for innovators and inventors, mostly in the engineering fields, but then transition, gosh, it's been 20 something years ago into the world of nonprofits. So I like to bring kind of that background that I had in corporate America in the fields of engineering into the nonprofit world and just kind of see what that mashup looks like.
Well, you've been doing an amazing job out in the community, and I know how dedicated you have been to all of the endeavors you've had here in Southwest Florida in particular. So we'll circle back now to the big news. Just about a month, maybe two ago, time is going by pretty fast, but you put out some very big news. And that is the Southwest Florida Community Foundation's new name, new mission, and a big announcement. Can you tell us why you made this huge change?
Yeah, so I like how you use the word big. If anybody viewing today got the mailer, you know it was a very big mailer with a very big announcement. You couldn't miss it, right? And we were announcing a couple of things. We were announcing the name change, but it was more than the name change. It was us kind of naming the change that we want to see in the community. Our physical and virtual space for the last couple of years was under the name of Collaboratory. And when we did it, we just intended to name the physical and virtual space. But we just found people really beginning to relate to this idea of a laboratory for collaboration and the way that it connects to the community. So the branding change and the name change, that is big news, but it's not the big idea.
Right. And I know the Collaboratory, you have had the Collaboratory on site for many years now, and it's really can help to connect the community in a lot of ways, nonprofits with for-profits, and a lot of ideas and creations taking place right there at the Collaboratory. So a lot of times, and I'm sure you went through this a little bit, is, you know, we're going to go to the Collaboratory at the foundation, and it only makes sense to kind of pull that all together in the way that you did, and I love to see the way you put that together. And I know a lot of thought and a lot of people were behind that to make that big news and announcement. As part of that, you know, now that you're the Collaboratory, the big idea, and this is on your website, it's everywhere, that big initiative. And I think you're calling it the greatest community problem-solving initiative in American history. That's pretty big. That's a big, ambitious statement. And no doubt when I'm seeing that, and I know that you're the one behind that, I have huge hopes and dreams of seeing what this is going to become. And Southwest Florida is no different than the rest of the world. We all have our share of problems and issues that we all face. And I love that you're looking to take that lead role in starting the conversation and putting a plan together. Can you give us a quick high-level view of the initiative? What's the overview of it and what it involves?
Yeah, so I like that you brought up the branding first because you're a branding expert. So you do get that there was kind of a push and pull with the two brands. So we were like, all right, how do we make it simple for people to stay connected to us? That's what the branding change really was about. But the big idea is to coordinate the solving of all the region's problems in 18 years. So I kind of like to let that sink in when people hear it. And when you visit our website, you're right, you do see us kind of making that announcement that we want this to be the greatest problem-solving initiative in American history. And sometimes people's initial reactions are kind of like, well, how dare they? Who do they think they are? But our goal in this is for us to all dream big together, to imagine the possibility we all want to see. We don't want to strive for less than that. I mean, the reason the foundation was formed nearly 50 years ago was to end suffering in this community and to connect people with resources to do it. So our board and team said, what more can we do? What are we really here for? And we're here to end suffering. And, you know, unfortunately, as years have gone by, we've looked at the data. And even though people are working really hard, doing incredible work, there's more that we can do. So we want to be sure that people understand that the idea isn't to diminish work that's been going on. There's been great problem solving going on, great generosity. I mean, there's so many organizations and individuals in our region doing amazing work. So our board just said, what could we offer to the region that would make their work easier, more meaningful for them, not for us, and really serve a role that isn't being served? So when we make these big announcements, it's about all of us doing it together. It isn't about us having all of the answers or controlling things or telling other people what to do. We want to offer a resource that doesn't currently exist that really helps with this coordination. So a lot of times when we say collaboratory, the next word we say is everyone, meaning we want to solve all the problems, everyone, with everyone in the region.
I love that. I love that because, and I don't know if you've reached, you know, I mean, you've talked a little bit about that, some hurdles in the process, but someone has to document and lead and bring people together to kind of be able to solve all of it. And as you point out a lot in your presentations, that they're all connected in one way or the other, all the problems. And I know when you first explained it to me, that one of the first things I thought is helping everyone understand that individually, we are each part of the comprehensive problems that are existing. So if we can also understand, if we understand that, then we can also understand that we can individually be part of the solutions to all the problems that we're facing. And I love that you're starting that conversation and connecting us all so we can be part of that. I mean, that is a big initiative. And I do think it's going to take each and every one of us collaboratively with you to make that happen. And I think we're excited about it, which brings me to the next question. Many people are asking me that, you know, they've heard about the Collaboratory, they've heard about some of these sessions, or they've sat through a few. A lot of their questions are, what can we do to be part of that solution? You know, what's the next step involved, and what can they do today? And then maybe what can they do long term?
Well, we're really focused on deadlines, right? So we made this 18-year deadline. A lot of times people say, well, why 18 years? And we said, well, we really imagined a child being born this year, the year that we launched Collaboratory. What were their individual lives, their families' lives, and the region look like when they kind of reached that mark of adulthood, right? 18, most of them graduating from high school. So we picked a date certain because we wanted to be held accountable. We wanted to all be driving in the same direction. But we also picked 18 years because we know this is going to take time. And I think what's happened to a lot of us in the past is we've announced something big, ourselves included, right? We announced something big, we announce it to a couple hundred people, put out a press release, and then we jump right into work as if we know the solutions and we know what we should do, and we've got some strategic plan all mapped out, but we really haven't heard from everyone. So one of the things that feels a little counterintuitive to people right now is we're saying the biggest thing you can do right now is help us get the word out about what it is that we're trying to do so that everyone working on this together has heard the same information. How many times have you been in a meeting, Connie, and somebody starts talking about a big new project or something happening in the community and you go, Well, nobody told me about that. I never heard about that before. And it already puts us in a position of like, I was not in the know about something. So we're really dedicated over this next year and throughout the 18 years, but really in this next year, really reaching as many people as we can. Not the people that have already heard what we're up to, but the people that we want to reach in every neighborhood and every community, and really explain this. Because when you launch something like this, there's the risk of people not understanding it, and then what you're trying to do and making certain assumptions. We go negative so quickly, right? Like, I'm out at meetings now and I hear, well, they think they're going to control everything, or they think they're making all the decisions, or they don't think we've been doing enough. So I'm really wanting to spend time like this to explain it to people. And then what you'll start to see emerge out of these sessions of explaining, really vibrant brainstorming in an ongoing way. Leadership development in communities where maybe we haven't sought out those leaders in the past and bringing them to the table. Highlighting really early stories of where collaboration is working, and really getting all of the existing collaborators that are working tirelessly together to share information. So you won't see something happening that we've designed alone. What you'll see is us starting to create the spaces and the containers for that information and for people to be connected. See, this we haven't had this before, so it's not familiar to us. So it's going to be a process that we take our time with, because we want to both talk to everyone and hear from everyone.
Well, I love the way that you explain that. And for the audience that is listening, reaching out, trying to make sure that if maybe and have heard about this big initiative, but share it with other people. Put people in touch with the Collaboratory so they can share it with them, schedule virtual meetings or face-to-face meetings to learn more about it. And it sounds like that's what the main goal of this year is spreading the word to let everyone know that they can be part of something bigger, a big part of the problem solving that needs to be taking place here in Southwest Florida. There's always issues and challenges and problems that all communities face. So if we can be part of that solution down the road, and right now it's our big role is then spreading the news, letting people know about what you're doing, and then keeping a very close ear to what the next steps are. So as people this year start really understanding what those initiatives are, thinking through some of those problems that we do have and where they may fit in best to be part of the big puzzle, to be part of that solution. So I love what you're doing. I think it's very ambitious. 18 years is a very long time. But to your point, you can't solve things in 12 months when you're looking at such a vast issue that we're facing here in Southwest Florida. This is a big issue, and you don't want to just resolve something for a month. You want it to be a long-term solution that we can all strive to be part of. So I love what you're doing. Is there, when I think 18 years out, what is your vision and the initiative, the hopeful outcome of this big plan?
Really, the only thing I can say, because if I say much more than it means, it's my idea and I designed it, right? Like, of course, I have my personal thoughts of what I want to see, but we're really focused on this idea of human flourishing, meaning everyone in the region flourishing in so many ways. And again, they're all connected. So I'm not going to say like, oh, the end of poverty or the end of hunger. We're really looking at how all of these things are connected so that the people are having flourishing lives and that we're ending suffering, right? That's when all of us are out in the community trying to make change. We're trying to make something better for someone else, whether it's arts and culture or the climate or poverty. You see, if you start listing the issues, you'll never get to all of them, right? And that's what we tend to do. We tend to pick one or two and focus on those. But in order to solve for them, we have to really understand how we're connected and how they are all connected. So in 18 years, it will be solutions that have been devised at a neighborhood level, at a county level, at a regional level, where we're all connected in such a way that we know how to solve things together. People often ask me, but look, Sarah, a new problem's going to pop up in 5 years. I'm like, yes, but we will have created something together that kind of knocks down some of the barriers we face now to solving things. So we'll know how to approach them, right? We'll be connected in new ways. We'll be talking to people in different ways. People will be part of the design of the solution in new and different ways. So we'll create a new way of how we look at problems. Right now, we look at them as they're impossible. And we want to really begin creating a culture of possibility, that these things can happen.
Well, and creating the conversation and awareness is, as you've discovered, the first step. You know, we all have to become aware that there are actual problems. A lot of times we live our life and we're looking straight this way, but without looking at what's going on around us, and thinking other people may resolve those issues. That's not my problem. Is what you'll hear a lot. And I think in this community, we're a very giving community. I think Southwest Florida is extremely unique, where there's so much generosity, there's so much giving, and people that want to mentor, coach, be part of solutions. I think this is honestly, this type of initiative were to start anywhere else, it may not go as well as what I think you can accomplish right here in the Southwest Florida region, because we have so many people that are truly invested in this area, not just for today, but for the long haul. And I think I've heard already many people that I want to find a way to get more involved. There are a lot of issues that we're facing. I want to be part of that solution too. And I love that you're empowering everyone to be part of this. And you're continuing to remind people through this process that we're just the facilitator. We're the resource helping to pull this all together, but that it's not just the Collaboratory. It's not just Sarah Owen. It's together, everyone pulling together that's going to help make Southwest Florida be an even more amazing place to live, work, play in years to come. So I commend you and your vision for putting something this huge in place right here in Southwest Florida and allowing everyone the opportunity to connect and collaborate on something this big.
Thanks. Well, thanks for giving me the opportunity to connect. And if people want to get more involved, collaboratory.org, you can sign up for an explanation session. You can reach out to host your own. We are starting to see people from all over the region and organizations and their offices and their kitchen tables, wherever it is. I'll meet you and spend about an hour with you. It takes about an hour. I get a lot of calls like, hey, could you do an explanation session in 15 minutes? I'm like, no, you're going to have to set an hour aside, but we're always open and we're looking for opportunities to do that. So if you're ready to get going, if you're excited about this big idea like we are, reach out and let's get together for an explanation session.
Love it. Love it. Tell me what you love about living and working right here in Southwest Florida, because we are the Southwest Florida Strong podcast after all, and you are part of what makes Southwest Florida so strong. So tell us what you love the most about this area.
It's really funny. This is the longest I've ever lived in a community. In my earlier life and career, I moved every couple of years. So to be in a community for an extended period of time, I now feel part of the community. And I think you mentioned it earlier, Connie. It's the people that I get to meet in this role every single day. I mean, I just always wish I could just have like kind of a live running camera so people could hear the conversations that I'm having and their willingness to dream together, to react together. And I like the spirit here where it's like, we're going to stay here and do this work. We're not going to go somewhere else where maybe some of these things are figured out or some things exist that maybe we don't have. It's this commitment to saying, I'm going to be here. And now with all the new people moving in, I think it's going to just even broaden our ability to connect with people and work together. So I just am grateful to be part of this community and all the possibilities that live here.
Well, great answer. And you're right. I think with all the new people moving to Southwest Florida and Florida as a whole, it brings new energy, new ideas, new solutions from where they came from to the table here. So I think it's only going to make this a much richer, better place to be, and help humans flourish, as you suggested earlier today. Sarah, we are thankful that you joined us today on the podcast to share a little bit more about the Collaboratory and your very big initiative. Can you tell us how we can reach out to you if we'd like to maybe set up one of your hour meetings virtually or come meet you face to face?
Yes, so you can go to our website, collaboratory.org. The public explanation sessions are right there, and you can sign up for one. We've got, I think, dates now all the way through October. If you want to host your own, anywhere from 8 to, how many people you like, we'll work with you. We've got dates set aside that we can do that for you, either virtually or here at Collaboratory. Or Collaboratory isn't just here, it's anywhere that you are too. We'll come to you. If you want to host one, just reach out at host@collaboratory.org. So if you're interested in forming your own, host at collaboratory.org. If you want to sign up for one of the public sessions, just go to collaboratory.org and you can register right there.
Thank you so much, Sarah. And that concludes today's episode of the Southwest Florida Strong podcast. If you would like to be a guest on our podcast or view past episodes, please visit us at conricpr.com or wherever you view your podcast. Until next time, stay Southwest Florida strong.